Hi everybody, welcome back to Mr. D TV. This is Mr. D. This week we're going to talk about whether or not you should stay in the school that you're in, whether or not you should stay in your current position. We're assuming that you're going to continue teaching and you want to stay in this profession. But the question of whether you're going to stay where you are is a difficult one, and it's something you need to decide soon because you'll be signing contracts, you'll be given offers, and if you really are seriously considering moving to another school, some of those schools' application processes will start very soon. So it's something we need to think about now. I want to give you some things to consider. Number one, how bad is the situation in your school if you are considering leaving? If the administrators are not that good, but they leave you alone, like you have a lot of autonomy and you might roll your eyes every day at what they say and what they do, but inside your classroom you're able to accomplish quite a bit, then it might be okay to stay. Even if you don't see room for advancement, because that might not be what you're seeking. If you are seeking advancement, if you see a glass ceiling above you, where you're not going to be the department chair, you're not going to be on any committees, you're not going to have any impact outside the classroom, and that is something that you have to have, then maybe it's time to think about something else. It's having taught at different grade levels, different subjects, traditional schools, alternative schools, charter schools, and over the course of my career, I can tell you one thing. It's difficult to start over at a different school, even when the situation you left was not too great. There were times in each one of the new environments I taught in where I felt like I was a first-year teacher all over again. And I don't have to tell those of you that have been there what that's like and how horrible that feeling can be, how crippling it could be at times. It was scary a lot of times, but what I'm trying to say, in other words, is the grass is not always greener on the other side. Don't assume, for example, if you're teaching in a public school, that working at a charter school is going to be easier or better just by nature of the school. It's not necessarily true. Another thing to think about is how much do your kids need you? Like, what's going to happen when you leave? I know this is a question a lot of teachers who care ask themselves. What's going to happen if I leave? Who's going to take care of these kids? If you know the next person in line for your job, whatever that might be, is an idiot or doesn't care about the kids half as much as you do, then you might need to stick around at least long enough to find a suitable replacement. But if you feel like your kids are going to be in good hands, then you're not the only good teacher out there either. You might also be offered a different position within your school. But again, even moving within the same school to teach another subject, to move up to a different grade level, it's different. And for everything that you know about your school, there's a whole set of challenges you have to deal with. Consider that before you make any big decisions. In short, I just want you to think about what's going to be best for you ultimately, because I know how hard it is to think about yourself when you are the teacher that cares about the kids, which is most of us. It's hard to focus on yourself and to put your feelings and your emotions and your health above that of your students because you care for them so deeply. But if you're not happy, if you're not healthy, if you're not in a position where you feel supported, as I've said in so many other of the videos I've made and all over my blog, you're going to burn out, you're going to become a worse teacher, and you might not only will you be worse for the place that you're in, you're probably going to end up leaving the profession. There's a reason why the turnover in our profession is so great. So think about those things a lot. Make a pro and con list if you have to. So I hope this is helpful. I don't know if it is, but if you have more specific questions, things you're thinking about when you're considering what to do with your teaching career, please email me, teachforever@gmail.com. Stop by the blog. There's a lot of new stuff that's coming and has been there. And if you want to have a look at what it's like to be, what it was like for me as a second-year teacher, there's a series I've been doing called The Evolution of Mr. D. It's been going on since the beginning of January, and it's going to continue through the end of the year. It's a journal I wrote when I was a second-year teacher over 5 years ago. In 5 years to the day it was originally written, and it's hard for me to read it sometimes, and I think you would understand more about the decisions that have to be made and the growth that you can have if you take a look at that. See you next week.